What is behind the success of top real estate agents and mortgage lenders? What tactics, strategies, and lessons learned have they used to break through and achieve elite status? Top performing real estate and mortgage lenders from across the country answer these questions and so much more right here on Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. So get ready because we are about to get real. Now here is your host of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes National Director, Abby Waltz.
Hey there, and thank you so much for tuning in to episode 59 of Real Talk with Homes for Heroes. We had a knowledge bomb packed conversation on this show with Angie Turley, the number 7 Homes for Heroes mortgage specialist in the nation, right out of Mooresville, Indiana. This girl is on a whole nother level when it comes to the mortgage industry. She's quadrupled her business and has expanded from being a solo mortgage professional to now having a team of 7. That's right, 7 people to support the level of transactions that she's doing. She's done nearly 300 deals already this year, and we're just 7 months into 2020. And on this week's show, she shares precisely how she's done it. You'll hear how she's adapted through the COVID-19 pandemic and some of the changes that she's made that she plans to keep, how she doesn't do any lead gen. You heard me correctly. She doesn't do any lead generation of the typical sense, but she focuses on community involvement and community events to help her grow her business. Plus, she'll share exactly what she does at those events that have made her name synonymous with the mortgage industry in her community and have built her a database of, listen to this, over 27,000 contacts that, believe it or not, she actually follows up with consistently to stay top of mind and bring in the referrals galore. There is so much packed into this episode. So get your notepads out and let's get real with Angie Turley. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on Real Talk with Homes for Heroes, where each week I am joined by one of the nation's top producing real estate specialists and mortgage specialists willing to share their secrets behind success. As you can see, I've got my guest, Angie, here with me, who I'm going to introduce in just a minute. But for those of you joining us on the live show, a couple of real quick housekeeping things. We've got a couple of great features for you. We are going to do a wonderful Q&A at the very end with our awesome guest. So if you've got questions that come up along the way, please feel free to use that Q&A section for that. If Angie decides to share something, which I know she will, which is like a golden knowledge bomb, if you want to put that in the chat section or just give some takeaways in there or share the love, you can do that in the chat section as well. We will monitor that throughout the entire show. For those of you that don't know me, I am your host, Abby Waltz, National Director here at Homes for Heroes. And as you can see, I am joined by our number 7 mortgage specialists in the country, Angie Turley, straight out of Mooresville, Indiana. That's what, like southwest of Indiana?
Southwest. Yep.
Perfect. I've been there. Angie is spectacular. She's been with us for 7+ years. I cannot even believe I'm saying that. She closed 83 Heroes for us last year. She does a huge amount of business beyond just the Hero transactions as well. So I'm super excited to have her on the show. Angie, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We chatted before this show and she was just like, I'm like, wait, I should be taking notes for this. So it's going to be fun. So like I said, Angie's been with us for 7 years, which is so hard to believe that you've been with us for that long. Let's go back in the day, right? That was way back in 2013. What did business look like for you before you teamed up with Homes for Heroes?
So we did do a little bit of fire department, police business before we teamed up for Homes for Heroes. That's how you guys actually found me and said, hey, we want you to be part of us. And I was like, oh, wow, what an awesome organization. So we did do a little bit there. But as we joined Homes for Heroes, our business has, like you said, we've quadrupled the Heroes that we've closed since we've joined Homes for Heroes and have been able to promote that program.
Yeah, your growth has been extraordinary over the years. I know you started out as a solo mortgage professional. Yeah. And now what's your team look like now?
So I am up to 3 assistants, and then we have a marketing assistant, and then my daughter is interning who is 17 and helping us out with some stuff. And then we have a processor and a junior processor. So we're up to 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you believe it?
No, I can't. And we've added 2 since we came to Fairway January of last year. So our business is up about 60% since we came to Fairway, which has been awesome.
Wow. So what's your transactions look like for 2020, even through COVID and everything?
We again are up 60%. We've closed 241 loans year to date for over 40 million, and we're at 77 hero loans so far this year, not counting what we've closed in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That's incredible. So tell me what you kind of attribute that growth to. How have you started out as a solo, built your team, quadrupled your business? What do you attribute that to?
So a lot of what we do is community events, like you and I talked about. So we will go out and support the FOP, and we will do their golf outings and different events that they have. And the same thing with the Firefighters local union, as well as the different fire departments and police departments. We also partner with the Brownsburg Education Foundation, which is a local school system here, and we do a lot of events with them. And so really it's just about going out and promoting ourselves and Homes for Heroes within the community, because a lot of people don't understand it and they don't realize that there are perks for them being in one of those 5 categories, that they can get discounts on buying or selling or even refinancing a home.
Yeah, definitely. I know you do not just Heroes, and we'll dive into the events, which I know is kind of your specialty, which I think is so cool. But you do a lot of transactions outside of hero deals, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
How has your interaction, not just with Homes for Heroes, but in doing community-minded events and support, has that grown your other business as well, or has it just been selectively Heroes?
No, it's been nice. Again, since coming to Fairway, they have supported everything that I've wanted to do. So they said, if it's important to you, we have your back, you do it, and we'll, take care of it. So being able, and especially here in Mooresville, we have a corner location at the office, which is prime retail space. And we are able to do events out here. They have parades that come by our office, doing the chamber events where they do block parties. Everything is centralized right here in front of our office. So being able just to go out and say, hey, we're here, we do mortgages, we're in your community, has been able to help us grow a ton.
That's awesome. So not only are you ingrained in the community that you live and work in, but you've got a prime real estate spot just to remind people that you're still there.
Yes. And they put my name on the windows, which is nice, because when everybody goes by, they're like, oh my gosh, that's Angie Turley's office. So it's nice that they can see that too.
Yeah, very cool. So let's dive into events, because I know you could do this beyond your Homes for Heroes interaction, but I think this is kind of what really tailed off your community-minded stuff. So what are you doing in the community to expand and grow your business?
So when we go out in the community, we're involved with a lot of non-for-profit organizations that are local as well. And that's really one, I love doing the non-for-profit stuff because we're able to give back, but you're also able to meet a lot of the mind-like business people in our community that, are wanting to grow their business as well. So being able to network with those people and being able to help the community at the same time has been huge for us.
Yeah. So you're not only growing your sphere with just potential clients, but also with other business owners as well that can grow your sphere too.
Correct. Yeah. I'm not part of a B&I group every Wednesday morning. And so that's been a big deal for us as well. Being able to network with, 30 other business owners and say, hey, what do you do? What do, you do? And then we're able to bounce referrals back and forth to each other.
Perfect. That's a great way to grow for sure. Very cool. All right. So your events, you mentioned that you were doing stuff with law enforcement and with firefighters. I know you do some other stuff too. So what's a typical event what does that look like? Because people can sponsor things, right? People tend to just throw money at stuff to get their name out there or a sign out there. What's an event look like for you?
So first and foremost, at every event, we make sure to give away something that everybody wants. So normally we give away a Yeti cooler, because who doesn't want another cooler? And our main goal every time we go anywhere to any event is collecting information: name, phone number, email address, all of that. So that way we can mail to them. So we add all of those people to our mailing list every month. They get put in our drip campaign and our CRM. And then we also mail them a letter after the event to tell them who won the cooler, so they know we're not just, I mean, how many times have you signed up for something? You're like, who really won that? Did anybody really win? But we actually tell them who won, which is really cool. And, you know, year after year that we do these events consistently, especially with the same group of people, they come to know Angie's going to be at this hole. She's going to be giving away a Yeti. She may or may not have Fireball to give away to us, you know, stuff like that. But they know and they expect us to be there. And when we're not there, we get phone calls. Like I had last Friday, 2 golf outings at the same time. So I had to pick one that I was going to go to. And I got a ton of phone calls from the other one saying, oh my gosh, you've been here for 15 years. Where are you at? So again, it's just always collecting information, and then make sure your follow-up is good. Because if you're just throwing money at it and you're not collecting information and following up, it really isn't worth it.
Yeah. So you're actually literally participating in the event itself,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And are they golf outings a lot of the time? What type of events?
So we do golf outings. I know Carrie Arthurton, who is a preferred realtor with you guys, her and I are doing a bourbon and barbecue food truck event next month in Brownsburg. We do the night out against crime out there. Basically anything that they have that's open to the public, we will be in attendance. But a lot of what we do, especially in the summer's golf outings, I know next month we have 7 with different police and fire organizations throughout central Indiana.
Wow, that's a lot. 7's a lot in 1 month.
Yes, it is. But it's a good time. And, you know, like I said, everybody expects us to be at those places, and it's nice. And, you know, we've done a lot of, my tent is a 10 by 10 and it has Homes for Heroes logo on it and the Team Turley Fairway logo on it. And then everything else we do is co-branded. I have Homes for Heroes on the backside of all of my business cards. I have Homes for Heroes flyers we pass out, so everybody is aware. One thing that we have done that's helped us gather and collect a lot more of the heroes is we got our own domain name, which is hoosierheroes.com. So whenever we hand out information, that website's on there, and then that points directly to my Homes for Heroes affiliate landing page. So that way they're not just going to the National Homes for Heroes website and I'm missing out on that lead if they're not in my zip code.
Perfect. That's a great way to go about it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, you've got to share the Fireball story, because I know you're known for as the Fireball hole.
Yes, we are. Especially with the firefighters, because we do probably 5 or 6 events with the local firefighters union here in Indianapolis. And they know that every event we bring Fireball to, and it's always cold, and they always know like Angie's going to have the Fireball. So we can't ever switch that up. We have to have the Fireball.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you've been so consistent too over the years. You have the same tents, you've got the same stuff that you're bringing. Do you feel like it gets old for you or for the people that you're interacting with, or is it just feel like it's expected now and it's a great way to really niche market yourself?
It's really just become expected now. Now we give out can koozies and like different promotional items. So we try to mix something in every year, something different. Like last year we mixed in sunglasses with bottle openers on the end. And those went over like wildfire at the golf outings. And then we've also went to doing some taller can koozies that fit like skinnier Mick Ultras or White Claws or whatever people drink now. So those have been a huge hit too, and doing some camo stuff and throwing just different colors and different themes on our can koozies. But like I said, they always just expect a Yeti and Fireball, and everything else they just really don't care about.
Yeah. Let's dive into this Yeti concept, because this is something that I think people miss on. A, right, most people sponsor. B, if you're going to take the time, which is an investment in and of itself, to actually participate in the event, which really stretches that return on investment for your dollar. It's really important that you capitalize on being there. So you're using the Yeti to collect information. Are you having them write things down? Are they signing up on an iPad? What does that look like?
So they're literally just entry blanks. And then we have our Team Turley pins that we give them, and they take them with them if they want to. But we make sure that they put their name, address, phone number, and email. And we are very clear, if you don't put all 4 of those things, you will not win the Yeti. And then we also call them when they are the winner, and we say, hey, what color do you want? Which goes over really well that they actually get to pick the color, because especially at these golf outings, 90% it's men. So they're like, let me call my wife, I'll call you back. So they get what they want, which is really cool.
Very cool. And then I know your follow-up system is extraordinary, which I think is why you've been able to A, build your database, but B, also convert on a higher percentage than most people do. So if I were to fill that out, what would my experience be after the event?
So they get put into our email drip campaign, which you get 1 email a month from us. And they're not emails you don't want to see, and they're not always necessarily about mortgages. It could be, hey, you want to do this to spruce up your house, or don't forget to change your smoke detector batteries, or, you know, something that's informational, because some people get spammed and they don't really like the emails that we send. And then 6 times a year we do mailings. And so we do different postcards, and then we also do our local Colts calendars that go out in July that are magnets that people can stick on their fridge. They give our NFL season for our local team. And then in December, January, we mail out holiday recipe magnet that are monthly. So that has a monthly recipe on it, but then a magnet. So then those go on the refrigerator every month. And that list is now up to 8,000 that we mail out consistently 6 times a year. And again, God love Fairway, because they have been immaculate about helping me with these expenses, but they know what I'm doing is helping my business. The postcard we're sending out in October has all of the local pumpkin patches and like corn mazes for kids. So, and again, it's not just mortgage stuff, it's stuff that people will actually enjoy looking at.
Yeah, very, very cool. So you're not only email drip marketing, but you're also physical mailers that you're sending out to a ton of people. And what's your database size now? Because I thought that was
8,000 on the mailing list and 27,000 emails.
Wow. And how do you discern who goes on which?
If they give us their address, they automatically go on the mailing list.
Okay.
But some people don't want to give their addresses. In some places we don't get them all. So if they give us their email, we go ahead and add them into that as well.
Okay. Perfect. And then what are you using, a system of a specific platform for this, or what do you use to systematize it?
So our mailing list is an Excel spreadsheet that I've had for 15 years. So, you know, sometimes you just can't go away from the old school methods of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So that just is consistent. And then our CRM is Sherpa, and they have been around. They were Media Center before they were Sherpa, and I've used them for about 15 years as well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, holy smokes.
It's the consistency.
Man. For sure. For sure. Now, you said you've got 7 events going on next month. Has COVID changed anything for you? I know events are now starting to pick back up, but what's it been like these last few months for you?
So last year in the summer, we were averaging 20 events a month. And so that has drastically slowed down. We didn't do any events in February, March, or April. So we got a little creative with some of our realtors, and I picked realtors in different areas of our community. I picked like one realtor on the north side of Indianapolis, one on the west side, one on the south side. And then we're doing Zoom first-time homebuyer programs. So we're actually meeting with them at like 7 or 8 p.m. at night on a Tuesday or Wednesday evening. And then we do Facebook advertising for that. And for all of those, which we're doing 3 a month right now, we've been able to capture over 90 leads each month.
Wow.
And we've had at least 2 buyers from each one that we've done since March.
That's fantastic. So it's going well.
It's going really well. And I think a lot of people are more comfortable being at home versus having to actually physically go somewhere for a first-time home buyer class that they can actually sit on their couch. They don't have to show their faces if they don't want to. And they can ask the questions that they really want to ask. Yeah,
the anonymity sometimes is helpful in getting attendance up for sure.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, very cool. Anything that you've learned along the way over these last few months with doing those online?
Just that, again, because we've done home buyer classes in person, and it seems like with the Zoom, our attendance is up 30 to 40% because, again, they can do it from the comfort of their own home and they can be anonymous, but also it saves a lot of money. I mean, I was spending $500 to $600 on one of those events, and now I'm down to $300 just paying for Facebook advertising. And then I can, you know, sit in my sweatpants at home too, which is nice. Just look good from the waist up.
Yes, exactly. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, too funny. So do you think you'll keep that going in the future?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what my realtors and I have talked about. And they're like, you know, why not keep that going? And it just is easy. And so, and again, I think people are just more comfortable with it, and we're not spending as much money.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Very cool. Much more efficient, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Anything else that you've been really focused on the last few months when you've had time not doing events?
Really just, again, being involved in the community. So we're one of the title sponsors for one of our local missions, which is churches in mission, and they help, get people off the streets, and they help with food and helping utility bills and rent payments and stuff like that. They're really a good resource for people in the community that are struggling. So we've been helping out there quite a bit.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
cool. Always ingrained in your community in one way or another.
Always.
Very cool. All right, are you willing to walk back in time with me back to 2013?
Absolutely. Sure.
All right. So I know we've probably got new affiliates on here, possibly even new mortgage professionals or real estate professionals that can use and adapt the guidance with all of your experience that you've had, not just with Homes for Heroes, but in the mortgage industry in general. When you started with us, what was your approach? How did you get the program up and running?
So again, we had already been working a little bit with the fire department and police departments, but not as heavily involved as we were as after we joined Homes for Heroes. So we just started small. We started with the Indianapolis Fire Department first, and we just said, hey, like, what events do you do that we can come and sit at so we can talk to your firefighters about the program? And it's, we did an Easter egg hunt with them. We did at St. Patrick's Day, we've done dodgeball tournaments with them. We do their golf outing. We've done all they have a National Firefighter Conference that's here. We've set up a booth there. So it was just starting with one group. And then once we have IFD down, then we moved over to start working on IMPD, which is the Metropolitan Police Department of Indianapolis. And so we started really focusing on them and getting in with their groups and going to their new recruit class. So we were able to see all of the new Indianapolis police officers before they even hit the streets, because they have to move within so many miles of the city of Indianapolis. So, and then we started doing the teacher group. So it was, once we had all of those groups mastered and we had enough connections there, we still did the events, but we didn't have to focus as heavily on them. So we've been able to just expand, because you don't want to start out and just like 5 groups, I'm going to do all of this. You really need to start small, start with one group, let that grow, and then start moving into another group.
Yeah, I think that's what made you so successful, at least with us. And you can relate this to other things in the industry as well, outside of hero groups. Focus on one, like really nicheify yourself, if you will, and get really deep into that organization and ingrained in that organization where people then know, like, and trust you or expect you to bring Fireball to their golf outings. And then you moved on to the next, which I think is a really great way to start, because it can be really overwhelming if you're just, taking that shotgun approach. Like, there's so many people out there, and in your community, especially with Indy right in your backyard. I mean, what's your population there?
In Mooresville?
Yeah.
Like 8 or 10,000. It's not very big. Okay. So having Indianapolis has been a big deal for us.
Yeah, for sure. So super smart to start small and then start expanding, for sure. What did how did your approach change at all from fire to police to teachers?
Not really. I mean, we just do the same thing. Like, hey, let us tell you about this. Here's why, because of the benefits that, your group can get from us. And then, if you give them money and tell them you're going to sponsor stuff, usually they're not going to tell you no. But then, again, also being involved. It's, we did an outing last month for a fallen police officer that died in Indianapolis 15 plus years ago. And I've been close with his dad for a long time. And from that, we had another police organization on the north side of Indianapolis invite us to their golf outing for next month. So it's just, being consistent. They're like, we've seen you here every year for 7 years, and we want you to come do our golf outing. And I was like, yeah, except they don't want Fireball. They want tequila. And they made that very clear. They said, we bring tequila instead of Fireball. And I said, whatever you want, we'll be there.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's great to be able to expand your sphere, especially with how you've been able to be consistent in front of all of them. And they now know you're not there to do business necessarily, but you're there to serve and support them, for sure.
Right.
The business just usually follows with that. What else you got? If you were a newbie agent and you wanted to, or not agent, loan officer, right? And you could like go back in time and give yourself some piece of advice, what might it be?
Just be careful of what you spend your money on. And again, we do a lot of sponsorships, but my whole caveat to that is if I'm going to sponsor you, I'm going to be there. Because if you can't be present collecting information, there's really no need for you to sponsor it. Like going to put your name on a softball or baseball field for somebody's kid isn't going to get you business like it is going to sit outside of that place and collect information while the parents are coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Got any lessons that you've learned along the way over these last 7 years besides that?
Again, bring Fireball. The booze always brings the people back. So we make sure we do that every single time. And we started out, we used to bring cases of beer, and then we did margaritas, and then Fireball is just really easy. So every year we simplify something else. So if anybody needs tips, let me know. I got all the answers for events.
Hey, please share. I mean, bring it on.
Yeah, like I said, I have a checklist. We bring the tent, we bring tables, we bring chairs, we bring tons of giveaways. We make sure to contact the organization before the outing to say, do you need us to make a basket for you? Do you want raffle prizes? More information that we can put our cards on? Can we bring, a banner to hang up in your room where all your golfers are going to sit out for lunch or dinner? It's just name and face recognition. And what you want to do is make your name synonymous with whatever industry you're in. So when people hear Angie Turley, they hear mortgage.
Perfect. So you're reaching out to the event organizers before the event itself to see what else you can do.
Absolutely.
Very cool. That's an interesting idea. Are you, do you have any follow-up with the event organizers afterwards? Are you sending a thank you card or?
Oh yeah. We always send a thank you card for everything that we do. I send a thank you card every Saturday. I sit, and whoever I've met with for that week, we always send handwritten thank you notes too.
Wow. That's impressive. I like it. I'm taking notes on that one for sure.
We do a lot of mailing. And again, I can't shout fairway enough because they have been so gracious with us, and they don't question anything that I do because they know that what I'm doing I believe in. But I also put half of my own money into, so I'm not going to put my own money into it without making it worthwhile. But we send 80 birthday cards every week out to past customers with dollar lottery tickets in them, and those things go over like wildfire. People love that we still handwrite birthday cards.
Very cool. Now, with your growth over the years, have you added in systems? Have you added in processes? What's helped you? Because you can't go from 70 transactions to 400 and have the same stuff. So what have you built in?
So we do a lot of checklists. We have checklists for everything. We have checklists for end of the month for everybody that we close, to send thank you notes to the listing agents, and thank you notes to the selling agents, and thank you to the referrals, because about half of the business that we get in is a referral from a past customer, or maybe somebody that's not even in the industry, or somebody we've met at an event that says, hey, you're a police officer, call Angie. She's part of this program, Homes for Heroes. So when we have checklists when credit is ran, we have checklists when the files come in the door, we have checklists before they go to our processors. It's all about being organized, and everybody on our team has their spot and their lane, and they know what they need to do on each file and everything that happens.
That's great. Yeah. Checklists are, I have got daily checklists that we
right. And to-do lists, and we write everything down, and everything is a system, and everything goes into my calendar. I time block every day. I spend an hour doing phone calls. I spend an hour doing emails. I spend an hour prospecting, whatever the case may be. We time block for everything.
That's awesome. I'm a huge time block fan. It makes you so much more productive.
It really does.
Oh, it's I don't remember the statistic, but I think it was 7 times more productive, because you're not spending the time shifting your focus and then taking 15 extra minutes to get back focused to where you were supposed to be working. So, it is a game changer for sure.
It really is. That. Yes.
What other tips from a growth perspective do you have for people?
Growth is hard and change sucks. My team, every time I say we're doing something different, they're like, oh my gosh, come on. And I'm like, no, but you just have to grow smart, and you have to grow slow. You don't want to just try to grow boom overnight, because it can be rough. So you just, it's baby steps. That's why anytime we change anything in our process, we master that. And then I say, okay, now we're going to add this to our steps. Now we're going to add this. So it's just be slow and be smart about it.
So you really, you take what you do with your heroes, right? One group at a time. You take one change at a time and really master that, and then move. That's awesome.
Because otherwise, you're just throwing too much at your team, and I don't want my team to be overwhelmed, because I have a great team. My one assistant, Courtney, has been with me for 7 years, and she is my right arm. and I would be lost without her. But every time I go to change something, she's seriously like, no. And I'm like, yes, we are. But as long as we do it slow and we master it, then she's good with it.
Awesome. Very cool. So how did you know, I know, I'm sure every agent or loan officer that I've ever talked to is like, how do you know when it's time to grow, when it's time to bring somebody on? How did you know that you were going to bring on, I'm guessing, your first assistant, right?
Well, when you're working 17 hours a day and it's still not enough, that's when you know to bring on your first assistant. I went to the point that I knew if I didn't hire somebody that I was going to start losing business. So, and then every time that's what we've done is when we get to the point where we're like, okay, we're not getting back to people fast enough, then we know it's time to add. One of Fairway's core values is speed to response. So they're very much, you get back with somebody within a couple hours, you text back immediately, unless it's of course something going on that's, important that you need to put down your phone. But that is, again, one of their core values. And so we just want to make sure that if we're not getting back to them in a timely manner, okay, it's time to look and it's time to add to the team again.
Yeah, that's perfect. Great way to do it. What else do I have for you? I just want to pick your brain so much. What are your other things that you do? If I was a client of yours, what's my experience going to be like? What do you feel like you do above and beyond anybody else?
Well, we do a lot nights and weekends. Last night I had customers texting me still at 10 p.m. and I'm responding and they're like, what are you still doing? You're fine. I'm like, I'm not going to wait till morning for a simple yes or no. So it's just being there, and you make them feel like they're your priority and that they're your only customer. And it doesn't matter if they have bad credit or excellent credit. Like, we treat everybody the same. I spent 2 hours with a couple the other night that are probably 18 months out from buying a house, but they need to work on their credit. So we sat and got them planned together. We, went over their credit report line by line and said, here you go, here's your plan. And then just call me if you have questions. And I've already talked to them twice since, but nobody has sat down with them and given them a plan. So we just really want to make sure that we are going above and beyond and giving them 5-star experience regardless. And the same thing when it comes to loan amount. We are more unit-based team than a volume-based team. So if your loan's $30,000 or $300,000, you're going to get the same treatment regardless.
Wow, that's great. I love that. So any missteps that you've made along the way that you've been able to learn from?
Gosh, a ton.
You said growth is hard. Let's get into the challenges.
Yeah. Well, being at the right company makes a huge difference. I finally feel like I found my home. I was stagnant for about 7 years. We closed the same amount of business every single year for 7 years. It was within 5 or 10 loans. And now this year, we are going to completely blow it out of the water, which is amazing. So it's just, finding the right fit for you it's a game changer.
Yeah, I know your business really took off with that change, which is really cool.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's nice to have a good group of management around you, just a good group of people. Everybody, here locally in the state of Indiana has been amazing to work with. We all bounce ideas off of each other. It is a true family. It's not competition between us. We actually work together very, very well.
That's great. How's it helped with work-life balance?
Depends on the day. Right now it's a little crazy, but I've made a promise to my boyfriend that we leave every Friday night and we go to our cabin until Sunday morning, and I only work when I absolutely have to. But then when we get home on Sunday afternoon, I catch up from everything over the weekend. So it's just about trying to maintain that balance, but you have to make a commitment to that. And that's what I tell my team as well. You have to make a commitment to your kids, and, we take turns on who works on the weekends. And that way everybody has a break.
Yeah. Very cool. So big tip, find the right home that supports you.
That is a huge deal for me. Yes. Like I said, that was a game changer. It's been a game changer for my team as well. My team is very, to be able to pick up the phone if I'm not around and be able to call one of over 80 employees that we have here in Indiana is awesome.
Yeah. Very, 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 very cool. What else you got for me? Do you want to go into tips on Homes for Heroes? You want to go on the tips for mortgage? You want to go into more event tips? Because clearly you've got a ton of them.
Whatever works, you tell me.
I'm open.
So really, we'll go into Homes for Heroes a little bit first. So the one thing that, like I told you, has been a game changer for us with Homes for Heroes was getting our own domain name with the who'syourheroes.com. So that way we're not tied to a certain zip code. And then we've also gotten permission from all of the local fire departments and police departments that we mail flyers, Homes for Heroes flyers, to their police stations and fire departments every month. And then they hang our flyers on their boards. So it's been consistent that we are in front of them all the time. We also advertise. They have union newsletters for both the police and fire. So we advertise in there. So all of their members, retired and present, get to see our face every month.
Wow, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
How'd you land that?
Just ask. If they tell you no, then it's no. But if you don't ask, you won't know. And I ask to be put anywhere. I'm not scared to whore myself out, is what my boyfriend says. He's like, we go to dinner and I'm like, hey, do you have a house? Do you need a card? Here you go. Like, it's just marketing all the time.
Yeah. So for beyond community events, are you doing any other types of lead gen besides obviously a substantial follow-up with your database?
No, not really. We do like the Facebook for the homebuyers seminar, but other than that, no. We're very lucky with what we have built so far and the word of mouth with all of our hero groups that, it spreads like wildfire, especially with those groups because they're very loyal. Yeah,
extremely loyal, very fraternal, right? Word will spread quickly as long as you treat them well and you consistently deliver.
Sure. That's exactly it.
Very cool. I'm trying to think of some other things for tips and tricks beyond events and whatnot, but you got any other besides Excel and your CRM system?
Well, and it's just being consistent. I've talked to a couple loan officers during COVID that have stopped doing, one-to-ones with their realtors. And now that even restaurants are open again, they're still not doing it. So getting back into the flow of things, and we never really stopped. I, went and met with some of my realtors at their houses and we'd sit 6 feet apart and outside, but I still, that face connection with them. And getting back into the groove after COVID it can be rough, but you just have to get back in there and be consistent.
Yeah, for sure. Let's dive into that for a second, because I know that's a really big part from the mortgage perspective is having lead sources, right? And typically that's your relationships with your realtors. What does that look like for you? How often are you meeting with them? What do you do to support them or bring in business with your realtor partners?
So I make myself do 2 one-to-ones every week with real estate agents. So with realtors that I do business with. And what we offer them is, hey, find us an event and we will be there to help support you. But I don't want to pay for Zillow leads. I don't want to pay for lead gen. I'd rather go out in the community because I feel that's where I'm a best fit at, and be face-to-face with those people. I'm not scared when we go to a golf outing. I ask every single person at that golf course, do you have a mortgage or will you have a mortgage in the next year? And if not, do you know somebody that will? And I always walk away with 5 to 10 leads from every outing that we go to, because you have to ask for the business.
Yeah, that's great. Plus all of the contacts that you get.
Exactly.
With your Yeti giveaway. I love that you allow them to pick. I think that's a really cool idea for sure.
Yeah, because people have different preferences. Another cool system that we use is called HomeBot. So anybody that owns a home that we meet at any of these events, we put into that system, and it kind of gives them an overview of what their value is, as well as if they have equity, what they could do with that, if they could buy a second home, or if they could buy an investment property, or if they need cash reserves, or if they went to a different term on their mortgage, how much they would save in interest. So it's kind of a neat little tip and trick for them that gives them information, but still has my face plastered all over it.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's called HomeBot.
HomeBot, HomeBot.
Very cool. We'll have to link to that in our description with the recording for sure, because that's a great find. Any of those things that you can add value to your consumers, it's always going to pull them back. And I'm even wanting to add myself to it right now.
It's really neat. It really is.
Very cool. Any other tips and tricks or apps or game changers along the way?
Fairway has an internal app, which again has been another game changer for us, because I can look at anybody's loan or credit that we've pulled since I've been here that's active, and I can send pre-approval letters from my phone, which is amazing, because I can be sitting at dinner at 6 o'clock on a Friday and a realtor texts me and says, hey, I need a pre-approval letter. And I can say, here you go. It's there in 2 seconds. So again, I really can't tout Fairway enough, and I've been here almost 2 years, and it has really been a game changer for us.
Yeah. What'd your business do after you said you were stagnant for about 7,
Hmm.
right? And then it really took off. Where were you at before and where are you at now again?
So usually every year we close between 220 and 240 for the last 7 years. And last year we did, I think, 259. And this year we're already at 241 through the end of July. So, right. And we're averaging, right? I mean, right now we have 50 loans to close in August and 50 in September and 50 in October so far. So we are going to blow that number out of the water this year,
Yeah, that's
which is amazing.
incredible. And you
Hmm.
completely attribute that to just doing community events and following up
Yep,
consistently.
absolutely.
Simple, people. Simple. This is
It
not
really
rocket
is.
science.
It really is. And that's what I tell people, I have a lot of realtors say, well, how do I find out events? Call the golf course. Call them and ask them, like, how many outings do you have coming up? They'll tell you and then say, who do I get in contact to sponsor them? Because a lot of what we do is not realtor or mortgage affiliated. It's more community events. So again, with the fire, the police, the teachers, they have outings. You just have to ask where they're at and can we sponsor them? I mean, when we sponsored the firefighter dodgeball event, we had so much fun watching them hit each other with the dodgeballs, but also getting them to come and talk to us about mortgages. I mean, there was 200 firefighters there that day. So that was a big deal for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as a new agent, it can be daunting to find community events to get involved with. But from what you're saying, it sounds like once you find one, stick with it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're, like I said, consistent every year. We don't miss the local firefighter union outing. If I can't make it, I ask somebody from the team to go. But it's just, again, being consistent and being there and being present.
Yeah. How are you managing your events each year? Are you doing it through your calendar and just setting up a recurring event or?
So I just, at the beginning of the year, I have a list. I just go back through like June, from basically May to October and start, hey, what events did we do in May? Let's go ahead and start following up with them. And depending on who I partner with, then we'll split those duties and say, okay, hey, you call this one, I'll call this one. But a lot of times, honestly, the people that organize them reach back out to us and say, are you coming again this year? Or they just email me the stuff and they know we're going to be there.
Yeah. But you do such a good job time blocking and making sure that you can be there, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, so even when they reach back out, I love that you go through a list at the beginning and you're always looking ahead for sure.
Oh, we have to. Yeah, for sure. Especially when I'm out of the office for 8 hours for one day, I'm back at home catching up for usually 6 to 7 that night, but it's worth it for what we've been able to build our business on.
Yeah, very cool. All right, before I go into rapid fire questions for you, keep your questions and chats coming through for sure. Do you have any other tips, tricks that you wanted to cover that you feel has helped you become successful?
I don't think so. I think we got a lot of it out there.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. Participate in your community, be consistent, follow up, get contact information, right? Start with one and
Mm-hmm.
then grow from there, whether it's change or niche groups or all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You've got a lot. Holy
Yeah.
smokes. Let them pick their Yeti color.
Mm-hmm. And that, like I said, that it seems simple, but it is really a big deal for people.
Absolutely. Especially, and if you're going to spend the money, why not get them what they want?
Right.
So very cool. All right. You already answered my first one about going back in time and giving yourself a piece of advice. So I will switch out that one for a random one if you're up for it, right?
Sure.
You're an open book. You said you'd share
Yep.
anything.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite app on your phone that you have?
Oh God, it has to be Facebook. I mean, I'm on that thing constantly. It's ridiculous. Well, because we get a lot of leads from Facebook because of what we do on social media, and we're always posting what events we're at and tagging the organizations. And I'm almost at my friend limit, so I don't even know what we're gonna do when we get to 5,000. Like, how does that even work?
Will you let me know? Because I'm close to that too.
Right? I'm like, oh no, this isn't good.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, you just I'm going to go tangent with you real quick.
Sure.
You said that you're tagging people on Facebook. Are you tagging like the hero groups that you're participating in? Are you posting pictures of the event? What's that?
Absolutely.
What's that look like online for
So
you?
we don't, if it's not that day, it's the next day that we're going back and we're tagging those people and just saying, thank you for allowing us to be part of this. And then, we've got some groups like Brownsburg Education Foundation just tagged me on Twitter yesterday and said, thanks for being, one of our best sponsors. And We really appreciate you. So it's not just us tagging them, but it's them tagging us as well, but putting awareness out there. And so we have our hashtag that we use, Who's Your Heroes? And then we, always hashtag Homes for Heroes. And we just, make people aware of that. And again, the consistency, we probably get one lead from social media a day, at least.
Wow.
Just by being consistent and posting.
And that's not advertising dollars. It's not boosting posts or anything. It's just being on there.
Yep.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Free tip.
Free.
All right. I don't know if you're a bookworm like I am, as you can see.
I don't have time to read.
Oh, do you have like a favorite podcast or anything that you listen to for like growth?
Yes, I actually have a couple. So Austin Lar, who's one of our sales managers, he has his own podcast, and I don't know the name of it, and that's horribly bad of me to say, but I listen to his all the time. And then Andy Andrews has one that we listen to as well.
Okay. See, there's always something that we're doing to learn and grow, become better. And last but not least, what's your favorite room in your house?
Probably the bedroom, because I don't get to spend much time in there, and it's cold and dark. And when I do get to actually sleep, it's really nice.
Blackout blinds and all.
Exactly. I went in my bedroom last night about 1:00 this morning. It was 61 degrees. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to sleep well tonight.
That's awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, I'm going to let a couple more chats and questions come in. So feel free to ask any Angie, she literally said that she was an open book and she will share anything. So ask away. I know Katrina will post a link to sign up for next week's show as well in there if you need it. But what else? I think, do you have a checklist for your events? You said you did, right?
Yeah, a checklist of like what we bring so I don't forget something. Because, like with me going 100 miles a minute all the time, I'm like, okay, don't forget the cups for Fireball. Don't forget the Fireball. Don't forget. Because we bring a Yeti too to put the Fireball in so we can show them what we're giving away. And then, we always bring our marketing materials. I always do a double check to make sure we have enough canned koozies depending on the number of participants. We bring snacks sometimes to some of them depending on, if they're early or late. Don't forget the tent, the chairs. So literally it's a checklist for everything that's on my phone, and I go through one by one and make sure that we're not missing anything.
Very cool. And then how about for promoting it on social? Is there a checklist for that too? Or are you just guys kind of free wheel?
We just take a couple pictures while we're there, and then we just tag them and leave it at that.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. Angie, what's your name since you're on Facebook primarily, do you have 2 pages? Do you have a page and a profile?
Yes. So my business page is Angie Turley, I think mortgage loan officer, and they make me put my NMLS on there. I think, I'm not positive, but Angie Turley, you should be able to find it. And then personal is Angie Roberts Turley. Instagram is Angie Turley, Snapchat, Angie Turley, LinkedIn's Angie Turley.
I'm so jealous. Abby Waltz was taken like everywhere. So good for you for getting your name.
15 years worth. And I've buying domain names. So we own Indie Mortgages. We own all kinds of domain names to, promote ourselves there on Google and such too.
Oh man, you and my husband would get along famously. The domain is actually a saying in our house. Is
it really? That's great.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time and your wisdom and just being an open book and sharing with so many of our people. I know it will be helpful in growing their business and also serving and thanking more heroes. So Angie, you have been a delight. Thank you so much, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yep. You have a great rest of your day. Okay.
You too.
Thanks, everybody.